the 29-year-old Mwenya Chibwe.
The player that we haven't spoken about, the quality top goalkeeper that is featured very prominently in South Africa. Started with Cosmos and later went on with Polokwane City. And I think there was another team besides Polokwane City that he played for. But quality goalkeeper. And he obviously was never going to get the chance. He was born in South Africa. I think his father is of Zambian origin, but his mother is of South African origin. You know, that's just the story surrounding that. But he saw the opportunity to align himself with the Zambian side because he had an opportunity to play, and there he is now, the number one.
He's now on the books of Zesco United after his South African exploits. Oh, this time around on Godfrey Nanko Yatswala. Which roughly means the lion
is born. The lion's born.
The lion is born.
I
Player from PDF 11. Yeah, you took the time to see. You did your research.
You know, because I'm thinking there must be something behind his name.
Beautiful name. There's such eclectic nature and the vibrancy of our people, our African people, and this competition brings it all together. Looking to knit it all together for Zambia. Come hook or crook, it doesn't matter. It hits the back of the net. It is Chipolo Polo who fired the first shot. I think it was Ricky Panda who forced matters. Against the run of play, someone said.
Yeah, it ricochets up, from the upright, and the on-running striker meets it. I'm not even sure. It might have been an own goal at that, but we still have the chance to see exactly what happens here. Stunt is Botswana, so is Poko, the goalkeeper. He fires from a tight angle. It's from the Botswana defender. I think it's Kopelang, if I'm not mistaken. The young star.
Yeah, Tebogo Kopelang with unfortunate OG for the security system player. What an unfortunate way to concede a goal, but I'll tell you what, Moses Mwape Sichone will not care a bit. This side is taking the lead, William.
Doesn't matter how it goes in. They all count.
Now, I asked you the question on the drive to the stadium, and I said, that's a foul that referee Pandi has picked up. Botswana in their 3 games in the group stages have scored first. They've scored only 3 goals overall in their 3 matches, winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. But they've scored first in all the 3 games. What happens when they have to chase?
Basically, they've been prepared to build from a chasing point of view, and at a time when we suspect that they might not be able to have the legs to really play that high intensive, that basically means an excellent comeback of the highest kind.
That was a purposeful run by Ricky Banda, who looks like a player who's full of confidence, has been given the responsibility to lead artillery of Chipolo Polo. I guess we can call him the trigger man.
Well, they're the copper bullets.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to trigger.
Somebody needs to trigger. I think if memory serves it correctly, this is the second own goal in the competition thus far. The first one going to Malawian Sankani Mkandawire. The second, unfortunately, go down or choked next to the name of Tebogo Kopelang.
He's just a young defender that has just graduated into the national side and has had a brilliant tournament. I mean, if you talk of them playing 3 games and have not conceded between Kebu and Kopelang, were very key. Obviously, it's a team effort, but they're the ones that were the driving force behind it all. And for this to happen in the early stages of this game, you got to know, you got to understand just how much deflecting it can be.
Can confirm he is the youngest player of the starting 11 today at the tender age of 20 years of age.
He's 20 years and he's wearing jersey number 20.
Good or bad omen? I don't know. Captain, 5 years a senior, Kibwe. What can Coach Mpote's side conjure up here? As I mentioned, their mettle and confidence will be tested, given the fact that they've held the lead in the competition in the previous 3 games. This unfamiliar territory for the Zebras. Kopela, they slow it down, can't find any points of entry. Zambia not looking at all to wrestle away the early advantage that they've garnered here. Nice return on that left-hand side via Kelvin Kampamba.
I think it's the best way that Botswana can do right now. If they're going to have the opportunity to recycle the ball successfully defensively, and obviously when you have ball position, it means you're in control of the game. You don't run as much. It's only the team that is chasing that wears down much quicker. So I think this time they're holding it defensively. It's the right way about it. And wait for the right moment to get the likes of Tauya Tsala up front to be able to throw a long pass to him.
Although this may be a relatively new side that Zambia is putting together, they're still steeped in so much history and pedigree in this competition. I mean, they won the first 2 editions back 97, 98, about 25 years ago and counting. And outside of that, it was only the year 2021, I think, in Quebec, where we just couldn't get out of the group stages. Other than that, always been in the conversation for title tilt.
Listen, if you are as old as I am, and you've had that international view, obviously coming from Eswatini, where we used to play the Zambians, even as a youngster, listening on the radio, playing the Zambian side was always scary. You know, growing up, just knowing that my country is going to be playing Zambia, there were days when they used to hit us like 8-0. And I mean, they were big guns. The great players that comes from the Zambian side. Like I said earlier, these players know exactly what kind of shoes are they stepping into. There's lots of footballing history that comes from this country. The request status.
Interestingly, that it's going to get to historic stat and beautiful movement, good footwork. Penetrative play here from Zambia, looking confident, looking effective, looking efficient. That's Joshua Mudale, who almost benefited from that particular move.
Very skillful. Twist and turns to clear himself from the defender before he could snatch a shot. Brilliant. It's the level of sharpness that they bring into this game. There's individuals, beside the team tactics that they do bring here. But, you've got individuals that can turn the magic on their own. It's always a privilege to have those players that have the ability to take 1, 2, 3 players, because you find other teams that are sitting, that defensively are very tight, that you can't break them down with combinations. You just need individual brilliance.
Cooper a bit of space. It's allowed to turn. It's wasteful from Alkedi Talani, who has 1 goal to his name. Scored against Como Islands, a 22-year-old. I was going to say, William, you mentioned how terrifying that both sides of Zambia have been statistically. You look at their biggest win in the competition, it was a 4-0 win against Malawi 25 years ago. Heaviest defeat against Zimbabwe in 2018 in a 6-goal thriller that went in favor of Zimbabwe. I think we were in commentary, in fact, for that game in New Peter Mokaba Stadium, 2018. You can go back in your young memory. Yeah, you're still thinking. I'm telling you, you were there. I can remember.
Here's the thing. I've seen a number of generational players.
Yeah.
Over the years.
It's unfortunate. There was nice play there from the Zebras, from back to forward, and 2 or 3 passes to find a man in space but just couldn't keep his run onside. Benson Mangolo. It's played 270 minutes of Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup football. Here's Banda. Loses out over a quarter of an hour here to the Kings Welitini Stadium. Zambia that hold the advantage via an unfortunate ricochet. Depending on which side of the fence you sit, unfortunate or unfortunate. And I can tell you with definitive confidence is that Zambia are 1 goal to the good, regardless of how the goal came. So Benedict Chipeshi, skippers aside for Coach Sichone. The one thing I've noticed, William, Botswana just need a bit of a foothold in midfield, just to get the confidence going and the belief that they can go pound for pound with the Zambian side, despite trailing. That's Sautu. On the side of the pitch, the Zambians are searching. They're seeking, looking to launch another missile aimed in the direction of the Zebras. Or is it a mini copper bullet? Nice run, Prince Mumba. Confidence from Chipolo Polo. Getting stuck into their work. Everybody getting a touch of the ball. Channeling in there in Oprah, you get a touch, everybody gets a touch.
And some of those touches might look very unmeaningful. But with every touch that the team has, or even direction, it unsettles the opposition in the way that they're structured. And eventually, that is when the opening starts to come. It's just a way of trying to dissect the opposition. Like I said, every movement basically means that they will shift, and some of the shiftings defensively cannot, maybe will be on point.
Just like that, they were able to get it to their right back and then get a cross in. Wasn't the best of crosses, but the intent and the pattern of play, all to see 10 before the half hour.
Look at where it started. It looked to be shifting a little to the left, and suddenly, and what happens when you shift it to the left? The whole movement of the opposition shifts to that side, and it opens up on the far side. And that's where this ball came from.
Forced into a mistake. The cheap whip. Of course, Botswana beating the Seychelles in the opening game of the competition. Another move to be thwarted by the officials' offside flag. This time around, the culprit being Udirile Lekoba. Khadira Udirile. And Kibue with a 49th minute difference maker in that matchday 1 win, followed by another 1-0 win against Comoro Islands. Talani this time on the score sheet. Goalkeeper Huetione Poko, the only keeper in the tournament accredited with a goal. He converted from 12 yards out in the 69th minute against Angola.
Listen, regardless of which way this game goes, there's a lot of courage that Botswana can take from this tournament. Remember, this is not their best team. They've induced a lot of young players in trying to build up their pool of players that will go on to be selected for the other competitions coming up. So, already experience that these players picked, they will add to the value of what is already existing into the Botswana camp. So, there's a lot of positive that they can pick up.
I can tell you now, Ricky Banda, Joshua Mutale, puppet masters on the Zambian side. The way they are pulling the Botswana defenders in various directions and then making off the ball runs.
Decisive pass eventually.
Yeah.
Defense splitting to get into the runner. The timing, I mean, the 2 weeks is well spent, it looks like. Pity their coach is not here. But like I say, Shishane, having been there with them as well, I'm sure can use quite a bit of the structure that the coaches did set up. It's just continuation of where they come from.
There he is again, Mutale. 2 touches, moves it on. Nearly a moment of magic from the diminutive one, and nearly a moment of nightmarish proportions from the Botswana player there, leaving Poko a bit short. He's got a sore ankle for his troubles.
Now, how that decision comes apart, it's purely anticipation from Banda in how he read the action way early, that the defender is highly pressurized, that the only outlet that the defender had was to play back to the keeper. He was already on his bike anticipating that. That's why he was able to put the goalkeeper under that sort of pressure. That now is football intelligence, being able to anticipate the next phase of the game.
It trickles into the grateful hands of Huitione Poko.
That's a good throw.
Yep. I'll say it again, that midfield just haven't come into the game yet. I mean, there's so much emphasis on the Bukhang Ditsele, who wears number 18. You can't miss him at the blonde hair, the center of that midfield. And I saw him in the game against Comor Islands as well as Seychelles. He absolutely bossed them, moved them at will, but he's found his matches here for Zambia.
He's a player that plays his best game when he's got the space in front of him. He's got this elevation about him that he can see things from a long way off.
That's a pass. Now, what will be followed after that? Let's go defending. Momentarily clear their lines to the Zebras. But the pressure just keeps coming from the orange shirts of Chipolo Polo. Aided by referee Buddy's whistle.
So talking about details and his elevated structure, that I see things, see the overview of what's happening in front of him. But now when you got players in front of you like the Zambians are playing, I mean, they in close proximity, they don't give him that opportunity to see further than just 10 yards away. And which is a ploy, I think that is going to work in their favor. You identify players that are dangerous, he's got the ability to come up with the pass. But if you block the source, then it means everybody in front of him is cut out of the action.
Always new and extravagant man, William Shongwe, saying elevated height or elevated. What's the word you use?
View?
Elevated view. You could just say he's tall. Jeez, William Shongwe.
It's a lack of vocabulary.
I'll keep it moving swiftly. It's Ditele. Cooper, we need a bit more from Cooper and Ditele. The Republic of Botswana need more from Ditele, Cooper and Tiberi at midfield trident. The 2 of them come from the same team in Diperi, as well as Ditele, while Mutusi Cooper, who wears the number 15 jersey, is the only player in the Botswana setup. Plies his trade outside of Botswana. He plays in Morocco for Ladia Club Oja.
Which is what I said earlier, that 2 more players are playing in that league in Morocco that are not here. So there's quite a few very outstanding players that are not part of this system. And imagine when those are up in going forward, then they will have had the experience of these young ones that now have had a few games into their legs, and then better performance, I'm sure.
4 minutes before half an hour, game has settled into a tone. Zambia more efficient and more confident with ball at feet. Botswana looking to keep their shape and not concede a second, but don't be fooled, they still possess a threat going forward. And most of the threat is coming from the side in orange. Here's the latest one, Kelvin Kampumpu. Gets a corner. He's had to do a lot of defending as the captain, Tato Kibue.
So I was telling the technical staff of the Zambian side as they told me that Yes, they've got the copper bullets that will shoot down the zebras. Then I told them, but be aware that the zebra's back kick
That's a good
is
one.
dangerous.
That's a good one. Beware the kick of the zebra.
Yes.
I like that, William Chongwe.
They might kick from a defensive position. They kick better when they're running away.
Good point. Somebody's been watching National Geo. I see. Bit of skillful play and showmanship from Kampampa. Shaw ends up with him holding his head in disagreement with officials. Well, decision in the end. You mentioned some of the key players for Botswana. I mean, Moshe Haulwa, Leo, you look at Mwakalori Ngele, some of the older veterans, if you can call them that, of the side who are not part of the 2022 or class of 2022.
Orebonye,
Rubonya, yeah.
Hamanyan.
Ditokwe.
Oh, man, this is endless. Now you're talking to me. So I made the point, and yet I didn't quite bring in the details to justify the point I was making.
Movement, this time from the left-hand side. Turns this man inside out. Can you say washing line? Disappointing shot in the end. It's a bit of a dud from Kelvin Kampamba, the Cisco United attacker. Really do have skillful players in Zambia, and so does Botswana, but I think we see more from the Zambian attackers than we are from the Zebras. We're still waiting for that kick, a back kick that William Shonga speaks of. Will it come here? Block. Back to where they were. Ditene. This is what he does well. Spreads play.
Yes.
Then occupies the position to progress play. Missed. Chance here for Botswana. Outside of the foot. Not far for Godfrey Lanko Tayatswala. Almost birthed a chance there from Tayatswala.
I think maybe the only thing that didn't quite work out in his favor that he hit it on the volley, half volley that it was, and see, as it bounced off, and that sometimes has a tendency to spill either side of the foot, but still threatening enough with Chibwe off his line.
Good idea from him. Pace. Too hard to handle for Prince Mumba. Ditene. Now Botswana turning it on to the appreciation of a small convergent crowd here at the Kings Wilitini Stadium in Umlazi. That is a kick. That's much better from Zebras. I think Coach Muhammad's important. That's it. More of the same, please.
Indeed. The thing is that from the previous games that we've seen, we know they can play, but what might be playing into their minds negatively is the fact that how long can we last? Maybe let's just play conservatively so that we can last a little bit longer. And unfortunately, that could work negatively. I mean, what we've just seen now is the quality that we know they can produce. And they had Zambia on the back foot.
Just over half an hour, and it's Zambia and Botswana. This quarterfinal clash. It's the sixth time that these sides have met in the COSAFA Cup. It is Chipolo Polo that hold the advantage of an own goal from Tebogo Kopelang. It's been Zambia that have been in the pound seat over the last 5 minutes or so. The Zebras have come out to forage. You're not the only one who watches National Geo, will you?
I'm sorry you could have used this simpler word.
Well, after you said a heightened what, I was like, no ways. Competition on. Vincent Mankolo. Keeper comes out momentarily, but then decides to just stick to his position. Easily grappled in the end. I think another point of entry could be set pieces and the usage of set pieces for these two sides. There's good play from Khape to Peri. They've definitely come alive for Botswana in the last couple of minutes. I don't know what the message has been to the 11 that is on the pitch, but it's working. It's working.
That was the whole idea, to say, see what you can do with the first, 20 or 30 minutes of the game, and then apply the necessary pressure. But unfortunately, that didn't go accordingly. But I think it's only now that the players are remembering that, by the way, we don't have all the time in the world. Let's see, we can, exhaust what we have, and maybe we can profit. It's a set piece.
And by the way, we're the only side in the competition to come from the group stages with a 100% record, unbeaten. Should be confident. Hey, confidence is a brittle thing at the highest level. That should be cleared, and it is. Now with the pacey Mutale. 2 versus 3. Mutale selfish. Seconds picked up by Kampamba. In space is the prince of the southern province, Spencer Sautu. The go-to man, Benedict Chipeshi, makes a run forward back to the prince of the southern province, Sautu. That's wasteful.
Nobody home.
That
Which was the
wasteful.
idea, to build up on this side and then immediately swing it to the opposite side. But no one was in the same wavelength with the defender, who it's something that we saw earlier, working so successfully. Build up on the one channel and swing the ball to the opposite.
Almost got into space. Valkiri to Talani. The 22-year-old attacker. I need to get him, I think, 1v1 more with Chamanga. There's the big switch you speak of. Here come the copper bullets. Jesus, this man, but since I've seen this trick before, nothing to see here from Alfred Velapi. Velapi, 23 years of age, from Gaborone United. Earlier, that move from deep in their own half, William Shongwe.
Let me tell you, Mr. Boy, we are so privileged. Every now and then we get fed with information. Miss Loilane obviously occasionally visits our box, and just to uplift us a little bit, refresh us with information. She's one of the ladies that is handling the Twitter space for the competition, and has been running up and down, delivering the information on a continuous basis. And we're privileged.
We are highly privileged. If it's not your highly exorbitant and highly extravagant English, we're also blessed with nice fun facts as well. We thank you very much. It's that she just passed on to us. I mentioned it a bit earlier that 5 games, this is the 6th in the COSAFA Cup, have all gone in favor of Zambia. Speaking of Zambia, they're on the ball here.
The other thing about some of these facts, that comes from previous games. I mean, Botswana up against Angola. Angola had never beaten Botswana. So Botswana had that in the back of their mind, as well as Angola is playing so well, but they haven't beaten us. They've never beaten us. And that was a thorn into the Angolan side as well. Talking to the coach earlier, he mentioned that, and I thought, wow, I hope that doesn't play negatively into their minds, and it did.
I'll ask you a question. Yes, Panda. It's Panda play. Great block there from the defender, Kopolani. Atoning for his earlier sins. That's as good as a goal, really, that block, because Panda was in. Kampamba. That's outside the box of Botswana, Zambia. There's a stat for you as well, and continue with that theme. With a total of 31 clean sheets in the competition have Chipolo Polo, dating back to their first ever competition in 1997, roughly about a 50% ratio. They only failed to score in 19 matches that they've played in the competition. And I wanted to ask you this. We'll go through more stats. Of course, they've played 62 games. This is the 63rd in the COSAFA history. A mistake. Keeper comes out. Had to. Did so well just to put off the man who saw his name in lights. The Prince of the Southern Province thought he had written his name in the headlines, but Khutoni Poko just got a fingertip. Just put him off at the key moment.
Excellent goalkeeping. It's being able to read the situation in front of you and making the decision to come out. And the other thing, he comes out with his hands, which most goalkeepers don't get to do. They always attack their oncoming player with their feet. He applies it with his hands. You know, the hands have a bigger base to be able to deflect the ball. And if anything happens that you get kicked in the face or something like that, it's in your favor, unlike when you go with your feet. The advantage turns into the attacking player because you might be viewed as having kicked him.
Now, Willie, if you look at Botswana's record, as we see some of the dignitaries, I see the Malawian coach, Mr. Marcia, Marian Marnika, on his side, did finish off the job against Mauritius. We feel as if they should have been in this particular juncture of the competition, but coulda, shoulda, they didn't. It's the Zebras that face Zambia.
I don't know if you're already here when they drew against Eswatini.
Eswatini, yeah.
And that post-match interview.
Oh, from the coach.
Oh, he held nothing back.
He was not a happy man. Oh, saying players need to stop play acting. They are more actors than players. After it was a penalty decision that went his way, against his team.
Yes.
Not happy at all.
And I hope he sat at home afterwards and watched the replay just to maybe get a little bit of an indifferent.
There's an inviting ball from the right-hand side. Now, Willie, have you mentioned all of these stats that we've just gone through? For instance, Botswana's biggest victory in the competition is a 6-0 win against Mauritius in 2018. How much do stats and history play in the minds of professional footballers? Let's say you're up against a side like Zambia, who played Botswana 5 times and have won 5 times. How much does that play in the back of one's mind if history's against you, basically? Foul on that man, Spencer Sautu.
It's a point I made earlier about the Angolan side against Botswana. The fact that even if it happened a while back, the fact that the stats speaks negatively against them when they're coming to play a certain team, it is a factor. Psychologically, it plays negatively. But it shouldn't be the case. It's a new game. It's a new game altogether. I mean, how Angola started here. They had no business. Nobody ever even thought that they could be out of the competition by now. But because of that negative thinking leading to the game, because of the previous stats, I think it's one of the factors that worked against them. Though we can review it differently as far as other factors that could have played a role.
Here's Mutale. He's been a key figure, a spearhead in this Zambian offensive effort in the opening 41 minutes. Here's a chance now for Botswana via Lukoba. With recovering pace by the defender there. Otherwise, something could have developed. That's Dominic Chanda of Kobwe Warriors, 26 years of age. Defender.
Kabwe Warriors.
Kabwe Warriors, yeah.
The team of the past. They were
Deadly team. Well, the team of the present right now is Red Arrows.
I know. And they're obviously breaking new grounds.
That's the
team of the moment.
No, the team of the moment and the current champions of the Zambian Super League.
And there was once a team, of course, Mufulira Wanderers.
I remember that one.
I know they've been in and out of the league in recent times, but the team of old, the when football was almost fully professional in Zambia because they were subsidized by the mines. The players they didn't work at all. I mean, Florida is a mine team, so that was a full-time job, and those teams were untouchable. I'm talking about this well, Warriors one, of course, and the list goes on. Vitaform is another, and man, the list. I'll remember them bit by bit.
Yeah, yeah, that was before my time. I'm just letting you go through the history books,
Wow.
testing your memory.
Unfortunately, I'm not sure if we can even Google that. So
Look,
Those
what I
type of
can tell
memories.
you, what I can say is the team present,
yes,
Red Arrows
Yes.
have wrestled away the power base in Zambian football from Zesco United after pipping them to the title, getting 20 wins from 34 to clinch the Zambian Super League title. Zesco came second, followed by Green Eagles. Ricky Banda pillaging 15 goals. Moses Piri of Zanaco as well, another team that also used to feature quite heavily back in the headlines in terms of the representation of the best of the best from Zambia.
did.
And Friday Samu, Green Buffaloes, missed out with the Golden Boot by 3 goals.
And I'm talking about the days of KK11 before they became Chipolopon.
Thank you, the work here, William Shongwe. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 seconds before the half ends. It's been a very enthralling watch from wherever you may be taking it from.
As much as Zambia's showing an upper hand, but I can tell you that beside that goal that obviously was considered in a way that maybe Botswana will not be too happy with themselves, but I feel like it hasn't been a real open game as far as the Zambians are concerned. They still are there and there. Yes, they have an upper hand, but I think Botswana had stood their ground.
I think they were stunned a bit, or they were in awe of the Zambian side in the opening 15, 20 minutes or so. I think once they reminded themselves, hey, look, we're here for a reason. We are one of the better sides here. And you could see the confidence flooding back and almost muscle memory in Dominic Chanda, 26-year-old. I think they must not let their heads drop. 60 seconds of injury time. Coach Mpoto will have one hell of a halftime team talk though on his shoulders. Just keep the belief going. I mentioned confidence at the highest level is quite a brutal thing. Even the greatest of greats doubt themselves. It's Muhammad important. I don't know what be going through his mind. You know what's going through Vincent Mangolo's mind. Wants to get the ball forward, and he will not get a chance to do so anymore in this half as referee Kolopadi blows the halftime whistle. And the luckiest of on goals from Tebogo Kopelang, who the record books will show was the goal scorer of the first in this quarterfinal clash between Zambia and Botswana. From there on, Zambia got stuck into the work as Chipolo Polo really looked to hammer home the advantage. But Botswana, as I mentioned, refound their form and refocused themselves and made a fist of it in the last 10 minutes of the half to ensure that it is still a game that will give us much to talk about. At the halftime break, it's 1 Zambia, 0 Botswana.
is possible in this game. That's the beauty of this game.
I like that. Nyega will confirm, which means you can never be sure where the bounce of the ball will take you. Beautiful name. There's such eclectic nature and the vibrancy of our people, our African people, and this competition brings it all together. Looking to knit it all together for Zambia. Come hook or crook, it doesn't matter. It's his the back of the net. It is Chipolo Polo who fired the first shot. I think it was Ricky Panda who forced matters against the run of play.
Yeah, ricochets up, from the upright, and the on running striker makes it. I'm not even sure. It might have been an on goal at that, but we still have. Goalkeeper. He fires from a tight angle. It's from the Botswana defender. I think it's Kopelang, if I'm not mistaken. The youngster.
Yeah, Tebogo Kopelang with unfortunate OG.
The repair status.
Interestingly, that it's going to get to historic stats and beautiful movement, good footwork. Penetrative play here from Zambia, looking confident, looking effective, looking efficient. That's Joshua Mudale, who almost benefited from that particular move.
Very skillful. Twist and turns to clear himself from the defender before he could snatch a shot.
Then we are from the Zebras. We're still waiting for the kick, the back kick that William Shonga speaks of. Will it come here? Block. Back to where they were. Detained. This is what he does well. Spreads play.
Yes.
Then occupies a position to progress play. Missed. Chance here for Botswana. Outside of the foot. Not far for Godfrey Nanko Tayatswala. Almost birthed a chance there from Tayatswala.
I think maybe the only thing that didn't quite work out in his favor that he hit it on the volley, half volley that it was, and you see, as it bounced off, and that sometimes has a tendency to spill either side of the foot, but still threatening enough with Chibwe off his line.
Good idea from him. Pace. Too hard to handle for Prince Mumba. Detained. Now Botswana turning it on to the appreciation of a small convergent crowd here at the Kings Wilitini Stadium in Umlazi. That is a kick. That's much better from Zebras. I think Coach Muhammad's important. That's it. More of the same, please.
Indeed.
They only failed to score in 19 matches that they've played in the competition. And I wanted to ask you this. We'll go through more stats. Of course, they've played 62 games. This is the 63rd in the COSAFA history. A mistake. Keeper comes out. Had to. Did so well just to put off the man who saw his name in lights. The Prince of the Southern Province thought he had written his name in the headlights. But Huitone Poko just got a fingertip. Just put him off at the key moment.
Excellent goalkeeping. It's being able to read the situation in front of you and making the decision to come out. And the other thing, he comes out with his hands, which most goalkeepers don't get to do. They always attack their oncoming player with their feet. He applies it with his hands. The hands have a bigger base to be able to deflect the ball. And if anything happens that you get kicked in the face or something like that, it's in your favor, unlike when you go with your feet. The advantage
in Zambian football from Zesco United, after pipping them to the title, getting 20 wins from 34. His side, quickest out the blocks. He looks like his halftime team talk hit the right notes. Skipped by Mutale. Not even a chance to sit down and take it in, and Zambia already on the attack.
If you're going to create a moment whereby you can get the better of Botswana, is you're going to play into their faces just what? The whole 90 minutes. In anticipation that at some stage their tempo will drop, and that's where the Zambians with their fresh legs can take advantage. Right now, if they don't apply the right kind of pressure, Botswana can sustain their level of performance throughout the 90 minutes. So you've got to increase the tempo against Botswana to benefit from fatigue.
No changes to report on either side. And I think a stat that is worth mentioning, 63% of the ball was in favor of Zambia in that first half. So perhaps something that Coach Mpote would have highlighted in the halftime chat, that we need a bit more of the ball so we can hurt them. You can't hurt a team if you don't have the ball. Well, statistically anyway, that's usually what happens. But there's that old saying, it's not how much of the ball you have, it's what you do with it.
Which is why transition play sometimes can come very handy. And you got to understand that the team that maybe that has more ball positions is always playing to your force, so they're holding a high line. So that long pass from deep can end up with the striker in front of the opposition's goal.
And they do have a very capable and pacey striker in Godfrey Nonko Dayatswala, as well as a goal scoring Balkiditwe Talani. Does have a goal to his name alongside Tato Kibwe, the centre back, and keeper Hoitone Poko. Here's fullback Luka Tamanga. It's good for Zambia. It's a better save from Poko. He's keeping Botswana in this game while he's driving Chipolo Polo forward, Mutale.
The liveliest of the midfield players of Zambia. Unfortunately, Mumba hasn't come into the picture, so is Kabamba. He's only been there in certain moments, but disappointed from Banda, who in front of goal needs to be a bit more composed and clinical. That was the most open chance of all that they've created so far.
And we were saying the crucial nature of the first goal in the second half, or the next goal in this game,
will kill the game.
Will kill the game, or will breathe new life into it. And they were almost dead and buried for the Zebras. Turned into chops, some will say. Zebra chops.
Well, I'm not into that. Well, geographically, that is following that side of the life out there in the wild. Yes, but that's another level that we're just getting into now.
So I take you've never tasted zebra before?
No.
I have.
You see now.
Tastes like chicken.
We move.
Here's some serious beef between that man Chanda as well as Velapi. Ditsele. They need more from the midfield maestro, Lebogang Ditsele. An injury stoppage for midfielder Kelvin Kampumbu. Of course, as I mentioned at the start of the second half, and 5 previous attempts since the tournament's inception, it's been Zambia, all 5 times. You see that injury to his left ankle, Kapumbu. He of Zanaco Football Club, as you see, alongside other teammates. In fact, I just had a quick look down. He is the only representative from Zanaco. Aside only made of Zesco United and Red Arrows players. Touch here in there of Power Dynamo players as well. Botswana terms of games played in the COSAFA Cup, a total of 48. They've won most of their games away from home. Traditionally, the tournament is played in various parts of Southern Africa. It's a good cross to the bar line and a header as well. It's powerful, a good run to the near post. But the cushioned header not on target for the man I'd mentioned, Dayatwala.
Velapi once again, that developing run and delivers right into the box. Yes, maybe Velapi attacking the ball a little bit too early, a little bit of patience in being able to charge it up until it drops a little bit lower for him to connect well with it. And of course, should things continue to be operational for Zambia in that middle of the park, there's Albert Kangwanda in that middle of the park, who also is another that has the ability to open up the game. I feel like I've mentioned Mumba and Kabamba, who are still not coming into the party like you'd expect them. They're the instigators, they're the playmakers, they're the catalyst into how this Zambian team can play.
Now here come Botswana, the blue shirts of the Zebras. Looking a bit fired up here. Talani, what can he conjure up? A code 45. Cut back for Cooper. He misses it, but the ball followed after that was just sheer class. Beautiful finish by Benson Mangolo, of all players.
What was he doing there?
What was he doing there?
He's a left fullback.
What I can tell you, he didn't know what he was doing there, but he found himself there, and he got the right finish, William Chongwe. Game on, 8 minutes before the hour.
The number of white shirts that are available in that box. Cooper, the star player in the Botswana, he misses this one, but it falls perfectly for Mangolo, who delivers with his right. He's left-footed. How did he do that? That, there's something about this goal that just had everything going for Botswana.
I thought you were going to hit me with an unbelievable
Indeed, without a doubt.
There we go, on his weaker foot with the right for the 23-year-old security systems fullback, leaving Zambia in pain. The man who's feeling the pain is Dominic Chanda. Bit of a calf issue. What made that finish so impressive? There was a man on the far post, and he just squeezed it in between the crossbar and the defender.
That is when I can say unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, really. But the thing is the bravery of the players that makes the decision to now suddenly let loose and say, come what may, we're here to play. If it's available, let's make it work.
That they are fourth. Goal of the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup 2022 edition for Coach Mpote's side, courtesy of the most unlikeliest of scorers in Benson Mang.
But even better, the way that
But there was a warning shot before that. Velapi did get to the byline, crossed the ball, but Dawiyatwala couldn't head the ball in the direction of the goals.
It was definitely with the run of play.
Yeah. Well, the second time of asking. He got it right. He's got it wrong. Tato Kebue goes into referee buddy's books. Becomes the second Botswana player alongside Alfred Velapi. So 2 off the back four for Botswana. On a caution.
Experienced players, she'll be able to do. Just guide him away from the danger area. A decision like that.
There's 2 substitutions that are ready to enter the fray. The first up is Chamelo Kulahano. He comes on for Nikoba. Well, for Zambia, managed to come on is Luka Chamanga. For the looks of it. In fact, it's Patrick Gondwe, I beg your pardon. Chamanga, in fact, just came back. I think he was suffering a bit of an injury, so he's off the pitch. Gondwe in. Coach Mpote says anything, score, we can score. If you sub, I can also sub. Game on. First game on a knife edge. 4 minutes before the hour. The game this is promising out to be, of course. More games coming your way tomorrow as well. Big guns are in town. Mlazi town. Banda! Spill by the keeper, not once but twice. That will not count. They thought they had found a second. We need to look up and see that.
Italia makes a mistake as he tried to build from the back, and that is picked up and immediately pressure. But once again, Poco was excellent in blocking, but he doesn't hold on to it, and it deflects it back to the oncoming player. But what happens is the player that eventually gets to push it into the back of net had an unfair advantage. He already had straight offside when the initial shot was taken.
I must say, the man who came on, Chamelo Kulahano, is a defender by trade. He's replaced the winger. So perhaps a bit of a tactical alteration for Mpote, new coach Muhomo Mpote. Well, for Zambia was an attacker, and for another attacker. Mumba. Possession cheaply. I think Ditzel and Cooper have finally woken up to the fact that they're playing a quarterfinal. Turning it on as we had asked for in the first half, as the Republic of Botswana fans would have asked for. Maybe slowly coming to grips with your opposition as time goes on. Pressure here. Comfortable looking Clarence Chipeshi.
Mini Cooper's has made a big name for himself in this game.
He's come alive now.
He's just risen to the occasion, like you said. He's just realized that, by the way, the competition is still on.
Yeah, we're still here. That man did say that. Now, this was the earlier chance. Ricky Banda with the shot, the initial shot, which keeper Poco did not gather cleanly.
I think for me, the player that immediately challenges goalkeeper, that's one that is suspected to have strayed off his offside before the shot was taken. But the one who finishes, I think, was way onside.
Good point. I think I concur with you. Smack bang on an hour here. at Kingswell Stadium, Mulazi. We are in the southwest of Durban for this quarterfinal clash between five-time champion Zambia and 2022 Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup hopefuls Botswana. The only side to have a clean sheet, a clean record, 100% record leading up to this particular quarterfinal tie. They trailed via an own goal from Tebogo Kopalang and then scored from the a bit of miscommunication. That all comes to nothing as a referee body blows his whistle.
Very imposing figure of the referee as well. Even if a player maybe has a temptation to confront him with any decision, but the minute you look up and you see this very big, massive figure in front of you, you choose a different route.
Now here come Botswana Trutalani. Finds a two-man defensive ball in orange. Here's Patrick Gondwe. Of course, really some big news as well. Very earlier, coming from North Africa, that the Egyptians have turned to former Portuguese player and coach Rui Vitória as the national team coach, as he replaces Habab Galal. Galal was sacked on the 16th of June after a 2-0 defeat by Ethiopia in the quarterfinals of AFCON 2023. He was in charge for 2 months after taking over from another Portuguese mentor, and Carlos Queiroz. Egyptians seem to trust the Portuguese, it seems.
Here's something of interest as well coming in from up north in Morocco, is that the ladies teams of these two teams playing in these quarterfinal stage have also qualified for the knockout stages of their competition there. That speaks volume of COSAFA football. And of course, there's more in as far as the ladies team from this region.
Yeah. It's gonna
Because
say
Banyana is also in there.
one of the dark horses. I think not even dark horses, one of the firm favorites. Judging by the opening 2 games that we saw, Banyana looking really good.
But Tembi Khatlana, for me, story is the most painful one, to think that his tournament is over and maybe out for a year or 2
or so.
That's the saddest part. The bright shining star of the ladies team at the moment.
Of course, AFCON coming to you live from Morocco while the COSAFA Cup. Smack bang in the province of Etegwini. From wherever you may be watching us, from the south, east, or west, maybe north of Africa. We say Dumelang, as well as Shani Mwaiseni. We can go as far as Comment ça va bien? You want me to continue? Got a bit of Portuguese. Como estás? Até o dia. I'm here all week. William showing a beautiful skill. That's mwah. That you understand in English language. Good touch back. Onto the feet of Luka Chumanga, who is in fact younger brother of James Chamanga.
I was actually thinking that when I look at the same name late, and I thought I should have been quiet if there's no relationship between these two. And for those that know James, he was at another level in his striking ability. And I remember, while still here in South Africa, he scored 6 goals. One of the few players that would score that number of goals in one game. Also went to play in China, if I'm not mistaken. And the sharpshooter of note. Also featured very prominently in the COSAFA Cup in the past.
I think probably his most prized possession would be that 2012 AFCON medal that he won with Zambia as well. He's quite a key figurehead in that tournament. I'm sure looking over, watching young brother Luka Chamanga. He's 31 years of age, plays for Power Dynamos. I can tell you, James Chamanga still plays football for Red Arrows, by the way.
Imagine. Oh, no wonder.
Going strong. It's not too late for you, Willie.
Maybe he didn't score that many goals, but it makes a lot of sense that you have experienced players in your midst.
From the past to the present, Mutale was the subject of that attempted pass. Chamanga. battling away with
small
Cooper.
community figure
Yeah.
of Cooper is just incredible how he gets stuck in and he really makes it different. Not only with his pass going forward, but also break down attacks from the oppositions.
You
Look
see
at him;
that
he's not much.
more frustration now on the faces, and the body language of the Zambian players. It's not as easy as it was in the first half. That's what a goal does for you. Changes the complexity and the landscape of the game. He's been at the helm of it. Mutusi Cooper turns 25 in 7 days' time. And applies his trade in Morocco. Of course, William, tomorrow the big hitters are in town. Senegal and Eswatini. Eswatini, your beloved Eswatini take on the might of the current AFCON champion Senegal. While South Africa goes to Mozambique.
Wow, that's a great moment for Eswatini to make history. And obviously, Eswatini has a score to settle with Senegal because Eswatini bombed out of the competition in the semi-final stage against Senegal. So it's an opportunity to be able to correct the matter.
You can still see the tears in your eyes. A reminder, Eswatini to beat Lesotho 2-0. This very same venue to secure a quarterfinal berth against the aforementioned Senegal. And topped Group B as an open group heading into the final day of group matches. Okay, got the job done against Lesotho with Kamedze and Ziniza on the score sheet in the opening 18 minutes. With a red card in the 83rd minute for Tseka of Lesotho to ensure matters in favor of Eswatini. They topped the group with 7 points from the allotted 3 games, with 2 wins and a draw.
Ooh.
17 to play. Who get the knockout blow? Have Chipolo Polo fired or emptied their cartridge? Or is there one more bullet left that will hit the target, and that target being a semi-final spot? Or will the Zebras forage on success at the expense of Zambia? Banda was slightly left behind. They wouldn't have counted as referee, but he's been in the pass of this game as the Kolo party. The referee hasn't missed a beat at all.
Nope. And once again, in the first game, we had an official from the Kingdom of Eswatini and talking to Felix Tangawarima, who obviously is the man in charge of all the refereeing in this competition. Spoke volume of the Swazi official who handled the first game. Says didn't put a foot wrong.
Wow.
I was impressed. Said that's my man.
Trust you to fly the Swatini flag high. Nonetheless, you've been here in South Africa for a millennium. More South African than Eswatini. Swati, should I say? How many South African languages do you speak now, Willie?
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't done well in that aspect. Somebody advised me that get a local woman, they teach better. And unfortunately, there weren't too many opportunities like that.
Oh, Willie, I can give you free advice. Stick to the football.
Which is what I did.
Done well for yourself. Here's Cooper looking to do good work for his Botswana side. Pressure from Chamanga and too aggressive from the 31-year-old defender. Not giving Talani a chance at all to turn. Nice flick on. The idea was good from Tauyatswala. Just too much for his teammate. Here come Botswana, looking far more confident and competent for issuing content that may leave the Republic of Botswana content. Mwamba. Oh, gotta love a good old tackle. It's not a friendly. It's a competitive match of football. Competitive match of Hollywood bets. The COSAFA Cup 2022. Who are you betting on? Pressure.
That reaction speaks volumes. It's a telling time of the game. And when a player loses focus in that sense, it tells in his story that something is settling into that body.
Mutale beats one. And on the recovery tackle, the toy shot back in his face. Still the ball with Cooper and Co. Cooper looking to cook something. Skillful work, Talani. As a result, they had to bring him down illegally. So, said again, referee body always.
Still something in there.
Yeah, there's something in there.
Definitely. I mean, that 10 was just something that came out from nowhere. I know he's pacey, I know he's got a little bit of this and that, but that was a different scenario. Nobody does it on that from the inside with the line on the side, but this time it was way into the middle.
Now, it was the goal creator, Kibue. Headed away, Mutale. One player we've seen less and less of is Ricky Panda. Has not featured much in the last 10, 12 minutes. Through ball, all the way through to Poko. I was going to say, I just looked down at some of the media that have gathered here. There's a gentleman here watching a series while the game is going on. Someone needs to have words with him. This game is hot. You want to do it or shall I do it?
Now go on with it. Who's that?
I'll chat to him after the 90. A hell of a game this is. Swati descent. Here's Mumba. Vector's Konde. Kapumbu. His influence on the game has also waned as the half has progressed. Just a reminder for you at home, if this game ends in a draw, we go straight to penalties, no extra time. There's two substitutions ready to enter for Coach Sichone, perhaps with the last throw of the proverbial dice. And wow, it's Joshua Mutane who's taken off. He's been arguably the brightest spark.
To the displeasure of the fans.
Yeah.
You can see they're very concerned about that substitution.
It's Enoch Sakala is to come on for him. Or the other player who swiftly joins him is Saddam Piri. They will have about 9 minutes or so to change the course of this game.
And to think that Forte has only made one change and the players are still standing. For me, he needs to be better at this.
So then swing, I keep a Porco with a double-fisted half clearance. And Piri is a midfielder. And by trade, while Sakala's inclusion will see him try to affect the goal from further forward. He is a forward by profession and plays for Zesco United, while Piri is on the books of Red Arrows Football Club. Porco safe as houses. That's what you want from your keeper in crucial moments in a game with only 9 minutes or so remaining on the clock. Maybe as well, Piri and Sakala being brought on with penalties in mind, perhaps.
But he's one of those midfielders that I mentioned alongside the Kaganda, who obviously have that impact when they come in. They playmakers, and I think which is why whatever his name Motalia was sacrificed, because these players provide almost the same intensity when it comes to build-up play.
8 crucial moments in this quarter-final clash, second of today's quarterfinals, with the earlier one decided in favor of Namibia against Madagascar. The punch again from Porco. Cooper picks up the seconds.
And put eyes on the ball. Calms the game down. And you can't keep playing forward. You know the legs are going. See if you can find a way just to calm things down slightly.
That was not calm from Chamanga, the complete opposite of calmness. Panic.
Now that I can see him a little bit closer,
You can see him.
he doesn't look too far from his
From
brother.
James, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to give kudos a lot as well to Alfred Velapi, the fullback for Botswana. He's really provided good thrust, attacking thrust. Once he crosses the halfway line, didn't do so frequently in the first half. I think he wasn't allowed to. The whole side really wasn't playing to their potential. And in the second half, boy oh boy, has he not waken up. Itsele with a floated header in just over the head of Kologano. Inches away. You know, football can be decided by mere inches. And Sir Patrick Okore. From Ghana Football Club. Kondwe, another one of the second half substitutions. Cooper really have to be commended of their stamina. We're trying to remind them that this is their 4th game in the competition, while Zambia, fresh off a training camp, a 2 to 3 week training camp, had to kick a ball in anger. This is their first match, straight into the quarterfinals, and for Botswana to still very chest work, right work from Chanda, or rather Velapi. There's a corner. Accumulating these corners, will something come from it? Look to change the point of attack, not to the desired effect. It's not the best of throw-ins. Not giving his strikers any chance whatsoever. Velapi, who, if you translate it in our South African language, Velapi, in isiZulu or any of the Nguni languages means, where is he from?
Yeah.
Earlier, William Shongo, those goals that have seen that both sides have a goal apiece was an own goal from Kopelang. Didn't know much about that, but Zambia will know all about this particular goal. Started off from the left-hand side. Cooper again always heavily involved. The cross from Velapi skipped, and the finish, Mangola, impeccable. That's where we find ourselves with the scoreline 1-1. I still have a sneaky suspicion there's one more twist in this tale.
And there's always a twist around this time, of course, with the lapses of concentration being a part of the game. Sean not too impressed with how things have gone.
He's not. Trust the coaches to always have something to say, which most often than not is the complete opposite of what the officials decide.
Yeah, you might be fresh. I'm talking about the legs of the Zambians, but you're playing your first game, which always has its own challenges. Any first game in a tournament of this nature always brings certain challenges. The combinations are still not fine-tuned, and it takes you first game to get things going, and then you can work out the nitty-gritties of what you can do on your next game. Whatever training that you do, it's nothing compared to the actual game. So you can never say, I played too many friendlies. Friendlies never account to what a real game looks like.
Which brings recovery then into real conversation for one of these sides. Should they get over the line and book themselves a semi-final spot? Botswana will have 4 games in their legs, while Zambia will have one tough game in their legs. How is that going to affect their recovery of
the difference now? There's a few days more than they would have had for Botswana for recovery. Even for the Zambians as well. They're coming into a good stage of the tournament where the days in between games are a little bit longer than they've been for the other teams in the group stages.
Cooper at it again. He was the catalyst for that latest Zebra's move. Looking to move forward through Sakala. Not finding it easy here, Zambia. Not the same swagger that they had in the first half. It's a tough Botswana side to crack. Oh, that was a clever run and some good vision as well behind that pass. Otherwise, he was in Tauyatwala. That's Prince Mumba. Moses Mwapesichwane. Defense didn't know much about that, but in the end, they get it away. 120 seconds. So 2 minutes of injury time before the allotted lottery of penalties. They slow it down. Still looking for one chink in the armory of Chipolo Polo. No side wants to give away any inch of advantage, William Shongwe. They know it could be just the death rattle that seals their fate in this competition.
It'll be an embarrassment if Zambia were to lose. After all that has been said about bring the best players in the local league and that they've got fresh legs, and I think no coach.
There's a chance here. Upright comes to the aid. This time around of Botswana. Ball still alive. We saw it happen in the Zambian box. Now, lightning has struck twice. This time around in the Zebra's box. Football is a game of inches.
It is.
That's how close.
Oh, man.
That record almost continued of five straight wins.
At a desperate stage of the game in this fashion, when you're given an opening like that, you're in front of goal, you're in the center. How did they miss that? I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, man. That's an open goal written all over this move.
Should Zambia lose this game,
they'll let themselves to blame.
Will be the chance that they remember Enoch Sakala, who came on off the bench in hopes of being the quintessential impact sub, well, fluffed his lines when it chance emerged for the Zesco United player. But I think we really need to give credit to this Botswana side, who are up against perennial winners in the COSAFA Cup, a side that they failed to beat 5 previous times. I can tell you they've made history with this draw. In 6 previous attempts, this their first draw. It's now the luck of the draw in penalties, William Shongwe. It's 1 Zambia, 1 Botswana. Stick around. Who will be decided? Or how will they decide it 12 yards out?
With the largest sardine run on.
Plug into Mzansi's newest gaming show, VS Gaming Weekly, the show that shines a spotlight on all things esports in Mzansi Africa. We bring you everything from the VS Gaming League, tournaments, interviews, and we go head to head with the biggest celebrities right here in studio.
Why don't you ask the question? Ask your questions. Don't miss VS Gaming Week.
Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. live on S3 and TTT. Also available on Telkom One. Proudly brought to you by Telkom. Risk everything, fear nothing, no regrets. Play hard or don't play at all, and rise to the top. Catch the finest of local talent in the Heritage Rugby, Saturdays at 3 p.m. Live on SABC Sport on GTT Channel 4, OpenView 124, and also available on Telkom One.
Kopelang coming running in and knocks it back into his own goal, to his disappointment. But character, because he continued to play beautifully thereafter.
2 ricochets later, it ended up in the back of the net. But there was more definitive nature about this. Goal from Velapi, the right back. Cooper, the midfielder, skips it. And it was a left back. In fact, from right back to left back. What a goal.
It means everybody was high up there. Normally, when one flank attacks, the other one stays back. But this time, they were all there. They could smell it. It was there. They could sense it. And beautifully played into the far corner with his right foot. That for me is what amazed me even more than the goal itself. Beautiful. And at a time, once again, when you thought maybe Botswana should just be sitting back and resting and just defending with their lives, and they had these few moments, big moments, whereby that could have easily decided the game. And then, of course, Zambia did bounce back at some stage with their own attacks.
Zambia survived. Botswana survived via the same manner. I think it was upright on the left-hand side, saying in the opposition box as well. That's how close this game almost got decided on either side. Enoch Sakala should have scored, but he didn't. And now we find ourselves with penalties. But that's the state of play. Zambia dominated possession in the first half. In the second half, Botswana had more of the ball, but most importantly, they got All that important goal to level matters and sees the game now going to penalties. What a quarterfinals it's been. Chipeshi as Kibue. He just concluded the toss. We'll get further details as to who will have first kick.
And I'm sure they'll have done a little bit of a penalty shootout in their training session in preparation for this knockout stage. And so the players shouldn't be living anyway, as we know the pressure is there anyway. But at least I'm sure the selection of who's more likely to take it should have been decided yesterday already. And it's not a question of finding out who's available, but some does cheeky. Out at this stage, of course, and then coaches have to look for another suitable takers available.
And a record that they wouldn't have thought of at the start of the game, a loss to a side that they've bullied over the years.
But you know, this stage of the game, of course, it's a shootout. It's anybody's. It's a lottery.
It's a lottery.
It's about who has the better nerves to deal with the pressure.
I know my nerves are shot right now. We haven't even kicked a penalty as yet. It's been a great spectacle for the crowd that has gathered here at the Kingsway Litini Stadium, Lana Mlwazi, Kwati, in the fourth largest township in the Republic of South Africa. It's produced the real game of high octane, high drama. Guess who? It's the captain, Tato Kibue of Gaborone United. Has played each and every minute of tournament football in the Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup 2022 edition. Doesn't get more crucial than this. This is moment to set the tone for his side. As referee Badi just gives last instructions to Poko and Chibwe.
The inquiry, of course, I think from Poko is that what if I stick my leg backwards from the line? Is that allowed? And they're getting confirmation of all that, those situations. And because one wrong move could put you in a situation, if you make the save, there might be a retake. Yes.
We need to speak China to him.
He's South African. Oh, okay. Half
Just
South
said,
African.
"Get to your guy in." This is my house. Nice touch. Yeah, what she was showing his time in South Africa. Of course, he's at Zesco now. It's Captain Kibue. Oh, told to wait. That is going to add more nerves onto Kibwe.
Listen, what is Buddy on about here? This is the goalkeeper space. Use any form of intimidation that you can use against the man in front of you.
Spoken like a former goalkeeper. Kibue, the pressure of the Botswana nation on his shoulders. He says, pressure molds diamonds. And it doesn't come more shiny than Kibue.
Listen, that was well taken. I had my fears about this. Lively as it is, Chibwe. But that ball had the right pace. A little bit, maybe considering the height, but nice and wide. Too fast for the goalkeeper to react to it.
And now up steps the man who came with big hype into this tournament, into this quarterfinal, the top goal scorer in the Zambian Super League, Ricky Banda. Was at the helm of the first goal, but in between that, he was kept quiet. Now it's his moment to make noise. It's Banda! Cool as you like, straight down the middle.
That's the hardest one to take for the goalkeeper. Of course, you think to yourself, maybe I should have stayed. Questions start flooding your mind of what he could have done or didn't do. Right straight.
Well, showing the finishing instinct of a poacher. Still only 21 years of age, Ricky Banda. Now attention turns from Banda to Bokedi Talani as a goal to his name in the tournament. Says Kautsiba. Translation says, I know you. How much does he know him? It's time to get personal. Talani, Chibwe. Talani says, you don't know me, my friend. Google me.
Well, unfortunately, she didn't have time to Google him. And a well taken penalty. And even better is that it was high. Even if you decide right, it did decide or went the right way, but ball was high. It makes it even harder for a keeper to reach for.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Judging by the first 2 pens we've seen, the first three penalties you've seen, they definitely practiced them.
Wow,
Top quality.
Let me tell you, it's a given. There's not even two ways about it. It's a norm for at this level, for that matter. Maybe elsewhere.
Now it's Kapumbu. Will he hit the target for the Bullets? Kapumbu goes to the right-hand side. It's not a day for the keepers thus far in the opening 4 penalties.
Well taken.
Well taken indeed.
And something that maybe I haven't mentioned is, for right-footed player, the most difficult take is to slice them in that fashion into that same side. Normally, the easiest is to hook the ball a little bit, which gives you a bit of power as well. And goalkeepers always obviously guess to go to their right if you're to their left. Yeah, right. If you are a right-footed player taking
I did not know that, by the way. Thank you for that. Did not know that.
Excuse me.
Now, Botswana for the third. Long run up. Slows it down. Oh, and he missed. It looked innocuous in approach. Guess who? The man who scored the goal that got them to the penalty shootout has now missed in the penalty shootout. Such is the game of football. You can turn from 0 to 0 just like that.
Composed and calm. He obviously knew exactly and knowing that the goalkeeper will do the same as well. If you are left-footed, the goalkeeper will go to his left. So that's where Chiba went, and he thought I'll just struck it nicely to the side, but opened his foot a little bit wider.
Can Chamanga do better, the Power Dynamos player? Will he go for power or finesse? Chamanga goes for power. Same side like Kampumbu. Advantage Zambia. And a bit of a tickle chance. Thank you worldwide.
Power is the way to go. This is what I would advise any young player coming in the ranks to say, okay, what do I do here? Should I be confused? I'm telling you, if you hit it hard enough, it can go right next to your ear as a goalkeeper.
You still won't save it.
Yeah.
Tayatswala. Godfrey Nonko Tayatswala. He says, don't change your mind. You might just fumble the bag, he says. Chibwe. Teasing him.
He's having fun.
Is he living rent-free in Tayatswala's mind? The answer is no. He's already paid his rent, and he says, with love from Botswana.
Beautifully struck penalty. So that's once again, it's like these takers are completely going the other way. Once again, right-footed, goalkeeper goes to his right in anticipation of what usually happens. So all of them, that's how they've gone.
Of the last 3 penalties, 1 of the last 4, in
yes,
fact. 1 has gone
but
the opposite side, the other 3 have gone,
in fact,
the right side.
It's because he was a left-footed player. The goalkeeper went to his left because previous taker was left-footed.
A chance for Zambia. Oh, easy as you like. Saddam Piri says, call on me when you need a cool finish from 12 yards out. The Red Arrows man hits the target. Look at that, nonchalant.
Once again, Parker goes to the right of a right-footed player. I'm telling you, this is weird.
They all on the same side, the goals that have been converted. Now, he's had a good game, Ibuhandi said. In fact, he had an ineffectual first half. The second half, he came alive and showed the performance that has led his side to a quarterfinal. Will he cap it off with a penalty?
At least this one is over.
Titele. The same side again. Ball attracted to that left-hand side of the keeper like a magnet.
Now, defining moment of the game. Let me just admit something. If I was in goal for any of those two, I'll have considered all those penalties.
At least you're not this man. Now, all eyes on Dominic Chanda of Kabwe Warriors, 26 years of age. Played the 90 minutes alongside Alan Kapila from centre back. Now has a chance to be the main man who wraps it up for Zambia and sees them secure a semi-final spot. It's Dominic Chanda against Poko. Chanda! Says Zambia, march on, and on, as they've done since 1997.
Beautiful. Not deserved, but you know what? They had to fight. They needed the nerves. I mean, at the most difficult time, and that's when the character came through. And taken penalties, not a single save from either goalkeepers, except for the one that was played out for Botswana to lose. But I think they'll go out here courageously. Like I said earlier when we were off air, that if there was an award that was to be given to the brave team, Botswana will be the team for me. But unfortunately, there isn't. But they will walk away with lots of pride in what they've been able to achieve here with a team that is new at this level.
Well, you've heard of the last kicks of a dying horse. How about the last kicks of a dying zebra? That was the last for Botswana. They can hold their heads up high, can the Zebras, because they really did take it all the way to the final whistle and the final penalty. It took Zambia 90 minutes and 5 penalties to see off Botswana. But the most successful side in the COSAFA Cup march on to the semi-finals after a 1-1 scoreline at full time. It's 5-4 to Zambia on penalties.
Hollywood Bets COSAFA Cup 2022 second quarter-final comes to an end, and Zambia gets to the semi-finals and make a date with Namibia in as far as the semi-final is concerned. And with me right now is the man of the match of this encounter, Lebogang Ditele. Congratulations. And obviously Hollywood Bates, football sponsorship coordinator, hands over. Talk to me about the game. Tough one it was. You haven't made it to the semi-finals. Put in words.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank my God for giving me this talent, and to thank my teammates for working together like this. Unfortunately, we have played a lot of games. We know that those guys that are fresh, as we are tired, game time, we have three games, but we wanted to score first so that we can settle, because we know that they're going to come in to us, and we didn't start well. That's why my boys, I say, second half, guys, let's take this game to them. We're going to score. Even that we can score 2 goals, we know that we're going to win this game. But unfortunately, we miss our chances. They miss them. And I'm so proud about my team.
Detail, you talk about the fatigue in the team coming into this game. Just what is it that saw you continue fighting hard till the end of the game? Because you looked like fatigue was not in the team.
Like I'm saying, you know, these boys, we play together with them in Champions League, because even us, you know that those guys, if you mess them, you know that they are going to come physically. You're supposed to play the ball, then we move the ball so that we can get into spaces, because you know that they can't run, they can't sprint, but pound to pound, they are going to come harder.
Thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on the award that you've won.
Thank you so much, my brother.
That's Titele, the Gaborone United defensive midfielder, putting up a splendid performance in as far as this evening's fixture is concerned with Zambia. And joining me right now is Mokomotse Mpote, Botswana coach. Coach, hard luck to you. Your thoughts about the game?
No, I see it coming, but I think it's unfair if you look at the fixturing. You are playing a fresh team, isn't it? You play a high tactical game with Angola on Sunday. You don't have rest, and you are playing on Tuesday.
And obviously, coach, you had so much energy despite fatigue coming to picture from the group stages. What did you tell the boys, especially at the halftime, for them to come stronger?
Yeah, first half it was a game of disparate passes. You could see we could not construct properly. Zambia dominated in the midfield. Yeah, second half now we are looking at how they play and you just change the game. The problem was, the triangle. Zambia is sitting with two guys. We are sitting with two guys. So now it means we have only one man to press. But in our defense there in the midfield, Cooper and Toli, they are marking one man. Now we change the triangle to go with two attacking midfielders. We hold them, we start playing our normal game. Left, right, then outside the cross. Yeah, we were unlucky to not score that ball who it's just hit the bar. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm happy with the performance of the boys. But let's look at the fresh team, how he struggled. I thought maybe it was going to be a difficult team for the boys. Yeah, but they played. I can't complain.
Coach, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all the best in the plate semi-final against Madagascar.
You're welcome.
That's Coach Mpote there, talking about how the team managed to handle the game in both halves, especially knowing the fact that fatigue came to picture as they were facing the Chipolopolo boys, that is Zambia. And with me right now is Moses Sichone, the assistant coach to Aliosa Sadovic. Coach, what a game. What a win for you. How do you put it in words?
A big compliment to my team. They did well in terms of our tactics, exactly like the way we planned. We knew Botswana, they have been playing games and they were in good form. Also, I have to congratulate the Botswana team. They have done well. So I think the fans, they have seen two sides. We more especially the first half. There were a lot of entertainment here on the pitch, and I think the boys they've done their best. Looking at from the time that we started preparations, they are just coming from the off season. So a big compliment to the players, and I think this is the way forward.
Coach, you missed a number of chances in both halves. How do you hope to correct that going into the semi-final against Namibia?
I mean, this is part of football. I mean, so you learn through mistakes. So we just need to encourage the boys. This is a young team. So, I mean, we hope to do better against Namibia.
Coach, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's Moses Sichone, assistant coach to Aliosa Hasanovic, the Chipolopolo coach. And obviously talking about how the team managed to beat Botswana in reflection to the second 45, games that we've seen in as far as the game is concerned. Talk about the results in reflection to the quarter-finals. Madagascar losing to Namibia by 2-0, and Zambia obviously on penalties managing to beat Botswana after a 1-1 draw in duration time. A fantastic game it was, and obviously we did see the chances that were created by both sides, and would love to see more as the tournament unfolds. For now, we are talking about the fixtures that will come through in reflection to the quarterfinals. Senegal will be up against Eswatini. This is the repeat of last year's COSAFA Cup quarterfinal, and South Africa will be taking on Mozambique. that is another game that will be fiery. You should expect a lot in reflection to the quarterfinals of the Hollywood Bet COSAFA Cup 2022. It's been an amazing journey so far, and we are promising you more as the boys walk onto the field of play to give us what they know what to do, the entertainment, the chances, the great goals that we've seen, and we'll definitely continue seeing them. From myself, Gaspar Ngulube, and on behalf of everyone involved in this production, to you for being part of us, we are saying Tatokoza.